shots, yeah, we had a win with an open door. Guess we lucked out. Do you copy that? And you'd rather be in the combat arena, combat. I like us to stay, but we're always in a combat arena, combat. We fight to the death that it ends up in bed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Sam Redgate-Large channel. Yes, ladies and gents, we are back once again, of course, for another game. And I've just realised I've not even got my Chelsea top on. How unprepared am I today, ladies and gents? How unprepared am I? I should have a Chelsea top on. So I will go and change that. And once we do that, we'll sit back and we'll chill out for a little while because we are about 30 minutes or so away from kickoff at the moment. 30 minutes or so. Of course, if we cast our minds back to the previous game, which these two sides both featured in last December, I'm tempted to say. December sounds like a good enough time. It sounds like about that kind of time, about that kind of range, doesn't it? But if we think back to that time, Chelsea were on a really, really good run of form, and as I break my ring light there, and West Ham came and put up a brilliant fight, a great effort, and well, they brought the game to Chelsea, didn't they? They brought the game to Chelsea. This is really annoying me. Why is it so dark in this corner? Oh God, I need to be more prepared. But oh well, we'll get it sorted in a sec once I've got my Chelsea top on. Can't believe I forgot to do that. I was so pleased at this, because this top's green, and I was like, oh, I haven't worn this top. I don't want to look like I just wear the same two tops the whole time on these streams. And so I was like, oh, I can put this one on today, because I realised that the green on it doesn't match the green of the green screen behind. Perfect, right? And then I forgot, obviously. I need my Chelsea top on. But like I say, with Chelsea today, they've got a lot to prove. The last game they played against Arsenal, 4-2 loss, not expected at all. And they should be doing a lot better than that. And a very, very poor performance from Chelsea across the field. And a really, really difficult one to weigh up and to sort of let sink in for a Chelsea fan's perspective. A really difficult one to let sink in, and you sit there and now you think, where are Chelsea going from here? Are they going to be dragged into this top four scrap? Or are we now going to end up eventually getting ourselves that third position? The third position, which realistically, over the course of the season, should have been signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours instantly. It should have been there. We were fighting for the title come January, and now all of a sudden we are battling to keep ourselves afloat in that top positions. Afternoon to Oliver, who's just joined us, and of course Real Tom as well. Afternoon to him. He's putting in score prediction for today, with it being Chelsea 0, West Ham United 1 is his full-time prediction. I mean, I would say it's a silly prediction, but the way that Chelsea have been at the moment, you can't tell. You cannot tell whatsoever. And afternoon to Fraser as well. And you cannot tell, because the unfortunate thing is, Chelsea, as good as they have been in patches this season, their home form hasn't been good enough. Their attitude doesn't seem to be good enough over the course of a whole season. Thomas Tuchel's built a great cup side, and we spoke about it yesterday on the Norwich versus Newcastle game. He's brought this team together, which is a fantastic team, a great bunch of individual players, and they all work well, being able to chop and change. But to go for a long distance in a league, you need the ability to be able to rely on specific players. You look at Liverpool's defenders, you look at Virgil van Dijk, you look at Joel Matip, these players, we know who are going to start. The five at the back for Liverpool, the goalkeeper and the four defenders, we can pretty much 99% of the time say who's going to be starting. Same with the midfielders. It's going to be a variant of Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson and Naby Keita. And then the three up front, they explain themselves. And so Chelsea need to find that. Formula. I've not looked at the teams today, so it'll be interesting to see how much of a change we've had from that Arsenal game, whether he's actually thought, these players need a consistent run. And to add insult to injury, of course, yesterday we found out that Antonio Rudiger will be leaving Chelsea in the summer. It looks like he'll be going to Real Madrid, as talks have been ongoing between the two for a long time, long before Chelsea had gone into, had been frozen by the government, and Roman Abramovich had obviously had his assets frozen. And so Rudiger now, who potentially is our star player from this season, Antonio Rudiger, will be leaving. And the big criticism over the last few games has been defensive outputs. What is going on? And without Rudiger in that defence last week, we conceded 4 against an Arsenal side that we made look good. And so we need an extra defender. We definitely need an extra defender, and they need to find and sort this out. And Chelsea need to get someone who's going to be there, like a Van Dijk, who's going to have been there now for 4 or 5 years at Liverpool. Chelsea need one of those. And if you're going to let Christensen walk out the door as well, which it appears to be the case, then we need 2 centre halves in this window. 2 centre halves in a window where, well, the best way to say it is we probably won't be able to buy 2 centre-halves this window. And so Chelsea are in a real predicament of a position. Afternoon Wiki as well. And Chelsea in such a weird position. Like I say, it's a shame that Rudiger's going. Of course, you expect it. He wants to go on. He wants to go and win more, which is fair enough. Maybe he doesn't believe that this Chelsea side are now heading in that upwards trajectory like potentially we were looking at the beginning of the season. But, I mean, we bought, didn't we? We bought Antonio Rudiger from Roma a few seasons ago. And he wasn't a bad centre-half. But the development he's had under Thomas Tuchel specifically has been absolutely fantastic, and I wish him the best for the future. Hopefully we don't come up against him, because I know it'll wind me up. That is what Rudiger does to his best, is wind people up. So hopefully we don't come up against him. But like I say, we can only thank Rudiger for being fantastic over the last year and a half since Thomas Tuchel has come in, and without him, I very much think we wouldn't have won that Champions League last season. That being said though, guys, that is enough Antonio Rudiger talk. Let's have a look at your score predictions as well, because Fraser has come in with a 2-1 to West Ham, and Oliver's gone with 2-2. A lot of people feeling very negative towards Chelsea at the moment, and rightfully so. Chelsea's performance last weekend isn't anything to sing home about. Is that the phrase? I don't even think that's a phrase. But isn't really anything to scream from the rooftops, if I'm brutally honest with you. And it wasn't the greatest of performances generally. But let's have a look. Let me swap over onto this screen and we will get up our... Where's it gone? Where have you gone? Here we go. Can you see that? I think you can. Yes, you can. Lovely stuff. Right, so these are the lineups for today, ladies and gents, in what could be a really interesting London derby. Like I said, the last game which these two sides faced off in was 3-2 to West Ham United with a lovely goal from Mason Mount. And my big criticism of that game was the lack of attitude. The attitude problem, realistically, for Chelsea. It really was a poor performance from Chelsea the last time out. They got themselves ahead, switched off. And that was the problem for Chelsea. It looks like West Ham have made a few changes themselves. The noticeable one there is no Mikel Antonio, there's no Declan Rice, and of course as these fixtures are getting squeezed closer and closer together come the end of the season, you expect some changes to be made. But let's see if they've made the right changes, or if they're going to do what Chelsea did against Arsenal in midweek and flunk the changes, is probably the nicest way to say it. But let's have a look at the Chelsea side. We'll kick ourselves off with the average age younger, surprisingly, with this Chelsea side, younger than the West Ham side. Probably a sign of West Ham that maybe they are at their peak at the moment. Not to be a criticism. But let's start off then with Edouard Mendy in goal. Don't really know why I introduce Edouard Mendy every game, because we know it's going to be Mendy, don't we? He is the only player in this Chelsea side who I can pretty much guarantee will be starting week in, week out. And even he gets dropped occasionally for the likes of Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal. And then the three across the back. So Chelsea reverting to a three at the back, having tested against Brentford, and I think against Real Madrid as well, that 4 at the back, which didn't go very successfully. But it could be a 3 at the back, or it could be a 4 at the back, that being said. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek put in a good performance at right wing back against Real Madrid. So I think it will be a 3 at the back with Cesar Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva and Trevor Chalobah as the 3 at the back. Of course, Trevor Chalobah making his return to the Chelsea side. He's been out for a few weeks. I do believe he picked up an injury and then was a little bit out of favour. Not like massively out of favour, but was obviously not in the side himself. And then off the left-hand side of that defence, you've then got Marcus Alonso, and off the right it looks like it'll be Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I guess the benefit with playing like this is the fact that if they want to, they can shift back to a generic 4 at the back. They can. Rice isn't signing a contract. You are most certainly correct there. And Jorginho and N'Golo Kante are in midfield for Chelsea. We'll talk about Declan Rice in a little bit. Where shall he go? That is the big question. So, Jorginho and N'Golo Kante, both of which, surprisingly, Kante doesn't look 31, but he is 32 next year, N'Golo Kante. And then you've got to wonder, where do Chelsea go from there? Where do Chelsea go from there? That is my question to you. Chelsea will need to start buying someone, and maybe Declan Rice can be involved with that one. But attacking midfield is Mason Mount, and of course Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, the Fortnite King up front. And again, this is another thing that will become blatantly obvious in game. Is over the last in-game, I said that as if I was playing FIFA, but whilst the game and the teams are lined up, what formation this front 3 will play in? Will it be Werner off the left, Havertz through the middle and Mount off the right, or will it be some form of variation, as you can see on your screen, with Mason Mount a little bit further behind? And who knows? We'll have to wait and see. It has been more that Mason Mount has been dropping in and almost being playing in behind the 2 strikers, and Werner has been getting the best out of that. So I imagine he wouldn't change it. That's my thoughts. Why would you change it? Werner and Havertz and Mason Mount have been playing well over the last few games, particularly. So why would you change it? Is my one question, and I'm sure we will see come the start of this game in about 15 minutes' time what the changes will be, if there are any changes. And then Timo Werner, I play a lot of Fortnite. Timo Werner, ladies and gents. What a legend. I do love Timo Werner. He seems like such a nice person. And I know that's not what you want from your centre forward, but he's such a nice guy. And I hope he can continue the form today and get himself a couple of goals against West Ham. Let's move on to West Ham though, and let's have a look at their side, which is currently competing in a Europa League semi-final. And like I say, I think this team at the moment is just about to get to its peak. I think this is maybe the peak of this squad, and as you can see by that age, that is why I'm questioning it. A very, very more senior team, but they've got a nice blend at the moment. If they lose Declan Rice, I do wonder where this West Ham side will go. Not saying that everything falls on Declan Rice, but they need to start to integrate a few younger players, more than just Declan Rice and Ben Johnson, into this team. Otherwise, they are going to really, really struggle. But of course, they've got the likes of Jared Bowen, and they've got a few others, but they just need to invest a little bit younger. They do definitely need to start improving and making players, just getting players who are a little bit younger. Interestingly, the way that this West Ham United team starts today is with Lucas Fabianski in goal, of course, and then the 3 at the back is actually Ben Johnson, who you'd more typically say is a full-back, and Aaron Cresswell, who we know can play as a left centre-back or a left-back. But it's interesting that both of those are going to be full-backs in those centre-half positions. It's like we're playing FIFA 21, isn't it, ladies and gents? I know, obviously, Chelsea have done it with Cesar Azpilicueta, but it is very interesting for them to go for both fullbacks. Maybe they're trying to eliminate the pace of Timo Werner, Mason Mount and Kai Havertz, and that's why they've done it. They've opted for a few quicker players, and of course Craig Dawson there in the middle Been a really, really good signing for West Ham United. A surprisingly good signing as well. Then we move on to the left wing back, which is Arthur Mazawaku. Off the right hand side, we've got Vladimir Kufal, and then Thomas Souček and Mark Noble, of course, the captain of West Ham United in midfield. Then the three up front looks like Andrei Yarmolenko, Pablo Fornells, and Said Benrahma. And then if you look on the bench, both teams making quite a few changes and quite a few surprising changes as well. Don't know why Chelsea's got such a short bench at the moment. Such a short bench. Not in terms of height, but as in there's one less player. But Chelsea clearly have a few injury issues. But Kepa on the bench for Chelsea once again. Backup goalkeeper Malang Sarr, a left footer to come on potentially. Saul Kennedy, Ross Barkley, Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, and Romelu Lukaku. That bench doesn't fill me with too much joy. If Chelsea are needing a goal, I don't know where that goal is going to come from. And yes, I know Kennedy. I don't know. I think we recalled him from a loan. I think he was out in Spain, and we recalled him from a loan because we were panicking because we didn't manage to get a fullback in. And to be honest with you, not having a fullback, the damage was done by the time we got to the January transfer window, and we didn't end up moving any further. But then, as you can see, looking at that West Ham bench, there seems to be, in my personal opinion, a few more players that you look at and go, oh, they're a good player. You know, you've got Declan Rice, Jared Bowen, Manuel Lanzini on his day can be a phenomenal footballer, and of course Mikel Antonio as well, West Ham United's top goal scorer, is on the bench as well. Has he even played? No, that's why he's not got a match rating next to him. Kennedy. He's played once in the FA Cup. Yep, there you are. Against Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. That's the only time he's played. I feel sorry for him. He could have gone. I don't know if he was playing in Spain, but he could have gone there and continued to potentially progress. He's 26 now, so he needs to make the most of his career. Otherwise, it's going to be a very stagnant one. But as we look, this is a double game week for Chelsea. So Chelsea also have a game against Manchester United in midweek. Excuse me. Oh, trapped air. But as you can see, these are the two sides, and where they sit in the table. West Ham would be a big win if they could get a win today. It would leapfrog them over Manchester United. West Ham have somewhat slipped down the table, as you would have probably expected, considering they've got to the last four of the Europa League. The attention therefore is dragged away. Imagine how much that would mean to them if they managed to win a Europa League, get themselves Champions League football in doing so. So that would obviously be excellent for them, and so they have slipped down a little bit further. But they are still in contention there, just with an outside shout, even just of the Champions League, but with a real outside chance of Europa League as well. And Chelsea, what does it mean for Chelsea? Well, as you can see, Chelsea have played the least amount of games in the entirety of the league, tied with Everton. So if Chelsea don't do the job today, they're still going to have a game in hand over Arsenal, who are beneath them. But I don't want to leave it down to that moment. I must say, I do not want to have it go down to the wire, because Chelsea, we can't do it again, surely. It went down to the last game of last season, if you remember, and it was only because Leicester conceded late on that Chelsea got themselves a top four position, and it was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. Pretty embarrassing. But Arsenal and Spurs somewhat putting on the pressure with picking up points yesterday. And the F1 is on. It starts in 10 minutes time, which is why I'm so gutted that the game today was at 2 o'clock, because it's clashing again. Can't believe we're only 2 points behind Chelsea now. You've made the most so far of the fact that you've had the extra games, and of course beating us last time out as well, Wiki. But you've got Chelsea do have 2 games in hand, one of them being today and one of them being Manchester United, and so if Manchester United all of a sudden decide they're going to turn up, it's going to be a hard game for Chelsea. And those sort of the teams from 3rd to about 7th, you look at them and go like, none of them are really in the greatest of form. Whatsoever. And if you look at Chelsea's home form, what on earth is that? Look at that. How poor is that? Down in 9th place. ninth place with Chelsea's home form. We're doing worse than Newcastle. That's no slander to Newcastle, but we should not be in ninth place. You can slap United, we can, but if United decide they're going to play for one game, I guarantee you it'll be against us. And then Chelsea's away form, better. Look at that. Look at the difference between Chelsea home and Chelsea away. Absolutely, completely different. The only saving grace is that West Ham are down there themselves on their away form. But let's move back. We'll move back to the main screen. I'm going to go put my Chelsea top on as well because I forgot to do that. Provided you play your best midfield. But what is our best midfield, Wiki? That's the question, mate. That is the question. What is Chelsea's best midfield? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think Mateo Kovacic is probably the best all-round midfielder that we have. And Thomas Tuchel doesn't seem to want to use him very often, I must say. And that gives me... I've just gone to change my top, by the way, in case you're wondering. But that does not fill me with too much confidence whatsoever. If you sat there and Thomas Tuchel doesn't believe that Mateo Kovacic is a good enough footballer to... What's the word? To play him week in, week out. We've got too many central midfielders. He obviously wants to be able to look forward to next season and go, we've got Conor Gallagher, we've got a couple of others coming back. Ruben Loftus-Cheek will be fighting for his place. Billy Gilmour will be fighting for his place. And so he will want to... If Mateo Kovacic isn't getting in now, where does Mateo Kovacic get in? That is my question. Where does he get in? And I don't know the answer to that. I do not know the answer to that whatsoever. And it's slightly sad because I think Mateo Kovacic is probably the best central midfielder that we have. That we absolutely have. And it's not even clear. N'Golo Kante isn't good enough on the ball. He hasn't been for a long, long time. He hasn't been good enough on the ball. And so, what do you do? Jorginho, he plays that vital role in the sense of he's so calm on the ball and he brings a bit of leadership in midfield. And clearly Thomas Tuchel trusts him, and of course being able to be a fantastic penalty taker as well is always an extra bow to your string, a string to your bow even. But I just think Thomas Tuchel, he just doesn't know what his best team is. He just doesn't know what his best team is. I think he's settled now that Havertz is the man he wants to play through the middle. But even still, he's then gone and brought in, the Fortnite King himself. And look at the performances he's putting in as well now, Timo Werner. He's putting in some fantastic, absolutely fantastic performances. And so I don't think Tuchel knows what he's going to do with this team. I don't think he knows what they're going to do for this team. I really don't. I really, really don't. It's going to be a really difficult one come the summer. I've seen a load of Chelsea fans saying, Thomas Tuchel needs to go. Pull the other one, lads. Because we've won a Champions League last season. We are still the European winners. We don't forget that. We are still the European champions. And for me to go, sack Thomas Tuchel, because we finished third, we've got to another FA Cup final, we had a valiant effort in the semi-finals of... in the quarterfinals, of the FA Cup. And you're like, why would we sack Thomas Tuchel? Why would we sack Thomas Tuchel? He's going to have a full transfer window now to be able to try and build and work with this Chelsea side as well. And I think he needs to make this side a little bit more into an actual cohesive side. But you can't really say too much has been wrong for Thomas Tuchel over the last year. And I don't think he deserves to be sacked whatsoever. It's a very naive way to look at it for me. A very sort of... I don't know why you'd say that instantly, but that's the culture that, unfortunately, Chelsea Football Club have. Stamford Bridge looks empty. I don't know, I've not seen the photos of it. But we are also not allowed to sell tickets still. So, before you come up with that slander, Oliver, for some reason, Oliver, you are obsessed with that. You are absolutely obsessed with it. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Maybe it's because people realise it's a nothing game because London is blue anyway. But I always find it really weird, the dynamics between like the way that London teams play against each other. For example, Chelsea always batter Tottenham. Tottenham and Arsenal, when they face off, you don't really know who's going to win. And then Arsenal come to Stamford Bridge and they just batter people. And I'm like, how do Arsenal turn that up? I don't understand. I don't understand the relationship between Arsenal and beating Chelsea. I don't get it. I really don't. It does make you question it. It really does make you question it. Oh, I've got the F1 up, ladies and gents, and we'll be ready in a few minutes. Players just walking out of the tunnel at Stamford Bridge, led out by the two captains, two of the greats of the modern era, Mark Noble and Cesar Azpilicueta. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. Let's see. That's weird. Why are the players like crossing as they walk out? Why would you not just line each other up on the different side? Very, very strange. Sky hasn't put the 3 badge in the sponsor lineup. Yeah, that's what they did yesterday as well. Not yesterday, midweek, sorry. That's what they did as well. I was quite surprised, actually. I was quite surprised, but 3 don't want to be associated with us, and we don't have enough money to take it off our kit. So it's just the way of the world, I think is the best way to say it, Oliver. The way of the world. I don't know how you got a monkey emoji from that. I'm not going to lie, Oliver. I'm not going to lie. That is questionable. I don't know what you've been typing, lad. Don't know what you've been typing. Let's see what can happen here then. It's got to be a better performance from Chelsea, surely. It's got to be. It's got to be. Let's put the background sound on. Let's get the fans in my ears. 3 is a magic number. Right, let's get this back on our screens. There we go. Batman says, Chelsea central midfield is non-existent, so hopefully we can have Mateo Kovacic and Declan Rice in those positions. Batman, you have come in and you've said exactly what me and Ricky were just talking about, that Mateo Kovacic needs to be in this midfield. I think the midfield is so much stronger with Kovacic. Kante's not good enough on the ball. He's not enough of a leader. He's a great player to sort of play in a 3 in the midfield because he's so good at breaking the ball up. But Chelsea like to play with 2 in midfield, and then the distribution responsibilities then fall onto the other midfielder. And unless it is Mateo Kovacic, I always feel like we're a little bit short when it comes to moving the ball forward and being progressive with Jorginho, because he's very much a sideways footballer, which isn't a problem. It has its place in the modern game, and we've seen it so many times. It has its place in the modern game, but I think we need to invest this summer, and if we can get this takeover done, if we can get Lewis Hamilton and Serena Williams and whoever else is in whichever consortium or whoever it may be who takes over Chelsea Football Club, if we can get that done sooner rather than later, then we can find out where we're going to be come the summer, and what we can do with the likes of those returning. Armando Broja, of course, he'll be coming back this summer. Conor Gallagher, like Batman just mentioned, Billy Gilmore. There is plenty of quality and talent Chelsea footballers that will be coming back over the course of the season, over the summer, sorry. And it's trying to fit everyone in. And Batman says, where would you put Conor Gallagher? And in this formation, I don't see a place for Conor Gallagher. He's not a good enough Mateo Kovacic type player. And then, do you want to play him as an attacking midfielder? I don't think so. I think he plays well when he can play in centre midfield as an 8, and we don't have an 8 position. We do not have an 8 position in this team whatsoever. And so, unless Chelsea are going to change it for Conor Gallagher, for him to come back into the into the fold, maybe so. But I doubt that will happen. I do doubt that will happen, and I think Conor Gallagher, as we get ourselves underway here, I do think Conor Gallagher will be a player that might end up actually missing out, despite having a very, very good season this time out. But we are underway, and West Ham United kicking from left to right, as I can see it at the moment. So the F1's just getting off as well. Sorry Sam, my Wi-Fi is acting funny, so I'll be in and out of the stream. No worries Wiki, no worries, thank you for stopping by my friend, thank you for stopping by, and always for bringing your excellent insights. Let's see what Chelsea can do though. The referee today is Michael Oliver with and that should be, just quick notice already from the Sofa Scores squad lineup prediction. It looks like Trevor Chalobah has gone to right centre half, and Aspilicueta will be playing at left centre half. So just a quick difference, Already, and Brighton have scored against the Saints already as well. Oh my gosh, Brighton, what are you doing, lads? What are you doing? You're already firing goals in. Classic. They can't score for ages, and then all of a sudden ends up being Brighton versus Southampton, and they get themselves a goal within inside a minute. Lovely stuff. Oh, I just moved that down, didn't mean to do that. Kante finds Loftus-Cheek, back into Kante now. Here is Trevor Chalobah, who finds Thiago Silva. Chelsea getting themselves on the ball in the opening stages of this game. Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek will 100% leave. I imagine so. We play two central midfielders, and we've got about 7 players who will be fighting for those positions. And Jorginho doesn't have age on his side. Kante has the fact that he is so phenomenal as that defensive midfielder, as that person to break up play. It's Thiago Silva there. Clatters one into the painful area of side Berahino there. Here is Kai Havertz, who might be able to flick that one on towards Timo Werner. Here's Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's starting out on that right-hand side, into Kante. Kante clips it in, looking for Marcus Alonso, and it's headed clear that time by Vladimir Soufal. Chelsea started well so far. Andreas Christensen has been replaced in the warm-up. He was experienced stomach issues. I'm assuming that's the PG way of saying he's got diarrhea. The pleasant way of saying it. I think that's what it is. Gallagher will be a rotation player, 100% for me. I cannot see him playing. Cannot see him starting that many games. Cannot at all. Unless he's converted into a right wing back permanently as a rotation option for Reece James. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you're on about Wiki is. Yeah, that's the only other way. That's the only way it could surely be. But he's too good on the ball. He is too good on the ball for that to be a case. And the Grand Prix got itself underway, and West Ham just trying to get themselves onto the ball nicely. Here's Havertz though, who's got the ball back. Kante rolls it out wide to Marcus Alonso. Oh, there's been a crash. Carlos Sainz and one of the McLarens has gone off. Oh God, already. Whipped in from Alonso. It's cleared by West Ham, only as far as Kante though. Here is Thiago Silva. God, everything's happening. The other McLaren's up into third. Oh my God, this is so confusing. At Rice, you clown. So it's Craig. He's atting Declan Rice. He doesn't like Declan Rice at the moment, who of course won't sign a contract at the moment. I think he's trying to push himself to get himself out of the club. Maybe he feels like he could be further up in the league. Maybe he feels like he should be playing Champions League football. I've got to say I agree with him. He's a fantastic player. He's a brilliant. He can play as a number 6. He can play as a number 8 as well. It's Danny Rick who's gone out, and so's Carlos Sainz. No, Danny Rick. No. Oh God. Chalobah into Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who tries to flick that one over. Safety car on the first lap. Good job I'm not just streaming that. That would have been a boring couple of laps for us. At least we can take our eyes off it for a second now. And let's see if Chelsea and West Ham can have some nice early drama like we've just had in the Formula 1. That would be lovely. Brozier is another player we should cash in. the thing is, he has played well this season, and if Saints come to us and go 15 mil, 20 mil for him, why not take him? Why not take him? That's the question. Why not why not go, yeah, okay, we'll take 20 mil, because it really is it's a weird one that you need to try and cash in on, because I don't know if he will play or reach the heights that Chelsea will. And then if you really think that he's going to make that, put him into put a buyback clause or something like that on him, just something, and then Armando Broja, you can get him back potentially then, can't you? You can get him back potentially then. If Tuchel continues with the inverted wing backs, then Ruben Loftus-Cheek is definitely a future, because he'll drop into midfield and create an overload. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I agree with that, Wiki. It's really difficult, because you just don't know what Thomas Tuchel has in mind for the next season. Kante does really well there to skip away and roll that into Mason Mount. I think there's only a finite amount of players in this Chelsea side that you look at and go, actually, I think they've got a long future, if you will. Only a few that you think, well, they're going to be in the squad. They're definitely going to be in the squad. Lukaku, I don't know if he's going to be in the squad. Havertz, I'd like to say would be. Werner, of course, there's a lot of talk about him as well, potentially going back to Germany. So that would be 2 out of our 3 strikers, or more traditional strikers in the sense of the word, wanting to leave. Then you've got Pulisic, who is too injury prone. There's no doubt there's a player. So it's all about what Thomas Tuchel wants to do and who he envisages as the core to build his squad round. And that's what I mean when people talk about Chelsea and they say, oh, Thomas Tuchel needs to go. Give him a chance to build his core. I'm just not impressed with how often he chops and changes that core. I'm just really not impressed at that. As Aspilicueta gives the ball away there for Ben Johnson, and Pablo Fornals just can't quite get onto that, and Chelsea regain possession once again. 7 minutes on the clock. Chalobah rolls it out wide to Loftus-Cheek, who tries to put one in, looking towards Kai Havertz there. Can Havertz keep that one on? It's hooked clear by Aaron Cresswell. It's won back though nicely by Loftus-Cheek this time. He rolls it back to Kante. Kante's going to have a shot! Ooh, just wide there from N'Golo Kante. It was a good effort there from N'Golo Kante on his left foot. You should make a video of your predictions of the Chelsea squad for next season. Good idea, Batman. I will store that in my brain and we'll keep that one going. Maybe keep Broja till January and see if his arrival will force Roman to improve. Yeah, that could also be a very handy thing to do. A very, very handy thing to do. But I don't know if we'll stick out Romelu Lukaku. Do you want to keep Romelu Lukaku? That's the thing. There's no doubt there's a player, but he's just so sloppy with it. That's my problem. That is my problem, man. So sloppy with it. So sloppy. Bloody hell, George Russell's made a good start to the Grand Prix. Sorry, I'm getting so distracted here, but George Russell's up to 6th. I think he started, 12th? 6th place. It's not bad from George Russell. Kufal into Ben Johnson there. He rolls it back to Fabianski. I've been really impressed actually that Fabianski's managed to maintain his spot for West Ham United this season. When Areola came in, I thought, oh, is this the end for Lucas Fabianski? But they've been able to share it very well, especially with Europa League coming in and them both being at that level, so, or a good enough level, should I say, to what's the word? To compete at both the Premier League and Europa League level. So it's been very impressive in that sense, and probably one of the best backup keepers in the league is Areola, as Masuaku tries to whip one in there. Masuaku, of course, will be full of confidence coming into this game, having scored in the last time he played against Chelsea. That I would say a wonder goal, but it was more I wonder if he knew what he was doing. rather than a wonderful strike. It was a very, very strange one. A very strange one. That third goal that Chelsea did concede, as Azpilicueta's had his shoe taken off him there. He's had his shoe taken off him somehow. Oh, just stood on his foot there by side Benrahma. We have Tammy on a Tammy Abraham on a buyback clause, so strikers aren't an issue. Yeah, we do. We do have Tammy on a buyback. That'll go. So we sold him last summer, didn't we? So it'll be next summer. Next summer, isn't it? When we get the buyback clause will end. So that'll be our last opportunity to. But the way he's going, you've got to think that Chelsea will want to activate that buyback clause. You've got to think that that will be something that they'll want to do. Good touch there by Havertz, but Werner can't quite get onto it. Quite a slow start to this game here. Both teams just feeling out and trying to work out what the formation, what the tactical setup is of each other. Especially after there being 5 goals in the last time these two played, you would have thought that they would have both come out absolutely flying, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Not at the moment, anyway. Alonso into Thiago Silva. Just needs Chelsea to up it just a little bit. Azpilicueta's back on the pitch though now as well. He had to get a new pair of shoes following that little coming together collision with side Benrahma. Totally accidental. Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham's going to be a weird one to look at, isn't it? Because he's a very clunky player. I just don't know how high his ceiling is. I think he needs to improve his on-ball ability. Oh, Werner's done well. He's nearly nicked that off Ben Johnson. Has he nicked it? Oh, he nearly nicked that back from Ben Johnson there on the halfway line. And the referee's given a free kick to Ben Johnson there. But Werner, he looks like he's sniffing about, doesn't he? Looks like he's sniffing about, trying to cause a few problems. I think that's what Werner does bring, is that good work rate, and I do love to see that from Werner and Mason Mount, the two who lead the line for Chelsea. They definitely have a really, really good work rate, and I do love that about both of them, that work rate. It just means that, you know, those midfielders, they have a little bit of an easier job so that they don't have to press. They don't have to press and lead from the front. That's going to play for a throw-in. Interesting if Declan Rice being on the bench today, whether it has anything to do with European competition and just having a rest because they've played that many games, or do you think it's to do with the contract situation? Let me know. Do you think it's to do with a contract situation, or do you think it's to do with resting? Because I don't know what to say with Declan Rice, because he doesn't seem like a player that, despite the contract, despite the contract situation, if you will, he doesn't seem like a player who would go, right, I'm not playing, you haven't given me what I wanted, I'm not playing. He doesn't seem like that kind of person. He loves playing football and he loves West Ham United as well, and it's more that he wants to try and improve his career. And if he doesn't see that down the line with West Ham United, then where's he gonna go? He needs to move himself to a more traditional top 6 club. Batman says resting. I think I agree with that. It seems like the more logical thing, doesn't it? At the moment, it does seem like the more logical thing for it to be a resting situation rather than a disciplinary, if you will. Chalobah down the line into Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who again has started well himself. Timo greater than Abraham, not in terms of goal output. Tammy Abraham very difficult to especially this season, and even his first season. Tammy Abraham was good at finding the back of the net. He's just Timo Werner just needs to find the back of the net in England more often. But he does look so good, doesn't he? He does look so good at the moment, Timo Werner. He looks full of confidence, and we've said this so many times on this channel. Timo Werner's a confidence player, and if you give him the confidence, and if you say, look, we're going to go do this, and things start going his way, then he's just going to fly. And at the moment, he's doing really, really well. Here he is now, receives the ball from Marcus Alonso. He clips one in towards the box. Oof. Nearly went all the way through there. It was a good ball in, looking for Kai Havertz, and it nearly went in all the way through to the well, it nearly went in at that back post there. Fabianski had to be on his toes. Definitely had to be on his toes. Come on, Timo, get me some fantasy points, says Lewis. You've Timo Werner he was the top. I think he was the most informed player on fantasy football coming into this week. So I feel like quite a few people are watching this game going, "Come on, Werner, let's see what you can do. Let's see what you can do." Hopefully he doesn't feel the pressure from home though. Hopefully he doesn't feel the pressure from home, because he's been playing really, really well. He looks like the shackles have come off a little bit and able to, especially with that 2 up front. That's probably, I think that's the best we've seen him, isn't it? I think that's the best we've seen him with that 2 up front. Good play there from Soufal to keep the ball on. He's been backed into a corner there, and Chelsea have pressed him out of the way. Easy stuff from Chelsea there. The West Ham just didn't move the ball fast enough. If West Ham win the Europa League, it's Champions League football, and they might as well cash in Declan Rice and improve their squad for the Champions League. That's one way to look at it, Batman. That is definitely one way to look at it, because, you know, if they can get themselves to a Europa League final, number one as well, it might actually make Declan Rice stay. You know, opportunity at Champions League football, a club that Declan Rice, I assume, will be captaining, as he is the vice captain at the moment. So I assume, you know, that is a thing that will be happening in the same sense as well. So very, very interesting the way that this Declan Rice situation and almost saga will be going on, and I'm sure we will be hearing about it right until the end of the summer transfer window, as well as teams try and weigh it up. Oh my God, Aspilicueta's made a mistake there inside. Ben Rama's managed to get the ball off him. Here is Ben Rama, safely into the hands though of Edouard Mendy. He just took himself a little bit too wide there, Said Ben Rama. If we finish 8th and West Ham and Leicester win their European competitions, we get conference. Is that how it works? Is that how it works? I'm not sure if that's how it works, Lewis, because if you think back to, when was it? Oh my God, Chelsea made another mistake. Trevor Chalobah this time. He's done well there to get himself back in. I'm not sure that's how it works, because if you remember when Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012, Chelsea finished 6th that season, but the team in 5th didn't get the team in 4th didn't get the Champions League spot. They cancelled it out. So it might be that they just cancel it out and they give it somewhere else. I don't know how it works. I think Europa League looks more realistic than the top 4 for West Ham. Yeah, I think that's true, especially with some of the big guns being knocked out of the Europa League. You would have thought that definitely thought that West Ham would have been a side that would have been going a long way into it, but the likes of Barcelona, those, it looked like a little bit of a problem. It looked like, oh, maybe they're not going to be able to do it. A bit of a clash of heads in the box there between, I think that is Thiago Silva, and I'm not sure who the West Ham United player is there as well. Clash of heads. Thiago Silva's back onto his feet, but the West Ham player just laying on his back at the moment. So that does give us a little bit of a break. And just to remind you guys, if you haven't already, do be sure to smash that like button, of course, if you're enjoying, and do hit subscribe if you are new. You can always unsubscribe at any time if you do, you know, get fed up, and it is completely free as well. Completely free. I don't know where the Europa League final is. Yeah, but they changed it a couple of seasons ago. There was 5 Prem teams in the Champions League. Was that the year that Liverpool won it? Potentially. I don't know how it works though with the conference and the thingy, but we'll have to see, Lewis. It could be exciting for you. It could be exciting for you. We've got to finish in 8th though first. And there's I think there's what, a 6-point gap between you and Wolves. So there is a little bit of a gap between the two of you. Still 0-0 here though. Yet to see the better of the opportunities, really. Fall to any side in this game, 20 minutes in, no real clear-cut opportunities. An afternoon to Sean as well. Right, that is the break and play nearly done. Thiago Silva looking to come back on. It was just Thomas Souček. Two big lads clashing heads. And they're both back on the field. Good to see. Lovely little bit of sportsmanship there with a bit of a shake of the hand. Realise those, you know, they're both entitled to go for the ball. As it popped up from the corner. Souček rolls it into Pablo Fornals. Arthur Masuaku there tries to put in a ball, and that's some good defensive play by Trevor Chalobah. He puts it behind. Brighton are beating Southampton, they most certainly are. 1-0, Danny Welbeck in the first minute of time. First minute of time, absolutely bonkers. Fornals whips in that corner, headed clear, it's volleyed back in there by Arthur Masuaku and it's cannoned into the air, but Mendy claims, and he's big and he's loud, and gets himself up in the air to grab that one. Lovely stuff. I was a little bit worried when that fell to Masuaku. He hit it well. It was a good header actually from Marcus Alonso. Didn't give him the credit there that he needed. I still got much chocolate to catch up to. Nice. Nice, enjoy, Sean, enjoy. I went through my Easter egg. Probably quicker than you would care to imagine. Probably quicker than you'd care to imagine is probably the best way of saying it. Lovely ball into Kante there. Kante's found a little bit of space to break into. That's what Kante does bring to the table though. He can dash into some spaces. Being as nimble and small as he is in N'Golo Kante, he does love to dash into a few of these places. Thiago Silva clips one forward into Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Great first touch into Mason Mount now. Mount's trying to wriggle his way free. West Ham United's defensive play has been good so far. Keeping their formation, keeping their structure for the most part of this game so far. Chelsea very little room to manoeuvre in. Azpilicueta finds Timo Werner. Werner rolls it out wide to Marcus Alonso, who's going to put in a cross there, and that's just over the top of Kai Havertz. It's able to be cleared just about there. I think it was Aaron Cresswell. Just had to be careful though, Aaron Cresswell there. That's a poor throw-in from a... Was that Ruben Loftus-Cheek with a really poor throw-in? For some reason he threw it directly at the header of N'Golo Kante rather than giving him the opportunity to get the ball down. Here's Timo Werner with a bit of space. He looks full of confidence once again. Oh, that was a bit of a clumsy tackle. Didn't look nice, but referee said play on as Andrea Yarmolenko carries West Ham United forward. Here is Yarmolenko. He's got support from Kufal and Said Benrahma, and Kante's come back, and his tackle has somehow canned its way into the hands of Edouard Mendy. So that'll be the end of that attack there. West Ham will be a little bit annoyed with the way that fell to Edouard Mendy there, as they had the opportunity. Oh, George Russell, lad, what are you doing in the F1? Oh, he's overcooked it. He's overcooked it. Oh, entertaining. This is so good having two things going on. Is Loftus-Cheek at right wing back? Yes, he is. He is at right wing back today, Lewis. He did it against Real Madrid, and he put in a really good performance actually. So yes, he's back at right wing back today. Just out of play for a throw in here. Marcus Alonso is trying to get his Chelsea players to create a bit of movement here in the corners. There we are. Chelsea finally get it back underway there. Took his time there, Marcus Alonso. I don't think he was pleased with the lack of movement from the attacking options in those positions. just wasn't creating anything for Alonso, and he just didn't want to throw the ball away straight away to West Ham United, because they've got an opportunity there with a throw-in deep inside the West Ham United half. But Chelsea just look a little bit static up front at the moment, just generally, with people having to come in deep to pick up the ball. Mason Mount's moving around, trying to cause problems in between the lines, in between Noble, Souček and Dawson. He's picked up the ball here, but there's so many players for Chelsea to get through because of the way that West Ham United are set up at the moment. It's causing Chelsea so many problems because they can't find an inch of space to even breathe, let alone to get the ball down and play. West Ham United throw-in once again. Come on, let's have some excitement. Let's have some excitement. Good ball into Timo Werner there. Werner drops it off. Oof. I think that was Mason Mount there with the shot. And it looked like an okay opportunity for him. But just as he tried to take the shot, he just absolutely blazed it over. Leant back a little bit too far, did Mason Mount there on his left foot. 10 goals so far this season, with I believe 8 assists in the Premier League for Mason Mount. Not a bad season in terms of output, maybe not his best in terms of performances, but in terms of output he's been there when needed for Chelsea this season, coming up with big goals and inspiring Chelsea when they have most certainly needed it. As Kante, did he kick the ball out of play there? The referee was playing on for a second there. As Sean says, how on earth did you lose to Arsenal? Individual errors. Again, Sean, individual errors. You look at that Real Madrid game, individual errors. Against Arsenal, individual errors. Silly errors caused Chelsea once again. Really caused Chelsea. And there was one from Christiansen, whose back pass was really short. Eddie Nketiah nicked onto it. I can't remember the second goal off the top of my head, but I think that was from Emile Smith-Rowe, wasn't it, where there was just no pressure on Saka as he wandered forward. Absolutely no pressure on Saka as he wandered forward. And then the third goal, there were so many opportunities to clear it, Sean. So many opportunities for Chelsea to clear it against Arsenal, and they just didn't. And Nketiah again just popped up, tucked it in the back of the net, as any half-decent striker, even someone such as Eddie Nketiah, who has not scored all season until that moment in the first half. A player of his quality, leave him in that kind of room, he's going to score goals. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and Chelsea just caused themselves too many problems in that game, and that's what the downfall was. And we've seen a couple of mistakes already from Chelsea. They are at the moment, Sean. They are at the moment, but they're only getting battered when they're at home, apparently. That seems to be the only way that they're doing it. It's not even everywhere they go, it's just Chelsea get battered at Stamford Bridge. 9th in the form table in terms of home form this season, which is mental. Considering they're second in terms of away form, it should be so much better than that. It should be a fortress. Oliver says boring game. That's why I've got the F1 on as well, because the F1 actually looks really, really good at the moment. There's a lot of drama going on with a nice zippy conditions, with it being a little bit wet in Italy at the moment. If anyone is wondering, Verstappen leads from Sergio Perez to Charles Leclerc, and then Lando Norris and Russell, Marcos Alonso, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz are both out as well. It is a dance floor, isn't it? It is a dance floor as well. Havertz into Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Here's Kante. Kante back into LC. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, good play there into Havertz. Havertz, can he look up? He rolls it to Azpilicueta. Blocked by Ben Johnson. I thought an opportunity was going to come, a proper opportunity. He's swearing aloud. I mean, I don't particularly swear. Just because of the way that it is, but of the way that, this ultimately is something I do when it's in the public eye. I don't mind if you guys do, but I would appreciate if you could keep it to PG-13, if you will, rather than it just being like F, C, whatever. I don't mind the occasional one, but you know, that's just me. That's just me. Otherwise, you will get the hammer. Oliver's here with the hammer, and you will get it if you do it too much. You will get it if you do it too much. 30 minutes on the clock. Can we have some goals? Can we have a shot? In fact, can we have a shot that doesn't get blocked? I am like, look how far laid back I am here. Look how far laid back I am. This is how boring the game has been. It's going to put me to sleep at this rate. It's going to put me to sleep. Me waiting for Mark Noble's a two-footed annual leg snapper. Yeah, Brexit, very Brexit, most certainly. Like when Erling Haaland called Troy Deeney Brexit. That made me laugh so much. That made me laugh so much. Here's Kai Havertz wandering into a bit of space. That pass is poor though, and Ben Johnson's able to get that one away. But that's a good touch from Mountain. Oh, was that Pablo Fornells with a ridiculous tackle? A really, really good tackle. Sam's favourite team, West Ham. I'm not so sure on that one. I'm not so sure on that one. Jorginho, Kante, Chalobah. Kante is going to clip one forward, looking for. Oh, I thought Alonso was going to drift in there. I thought he was going to drift in there. Marcus Alonso at the back post. It was a good ball lofted in, just a little bit too far away though from. Name's gone. Kai Havertz for him to do anything. Marcus Alonso tries to get himself on the ball again. Snicked by Soufal, who's managed to find, with a great ball, Said Ben Rana. Ben Rama. Here he is again. Can West Ham get themselves a sustained period of attacking football themselves? If you haven't already, guys, do be sure to smash that like button for us if you are enjoying. It's a great ball in behind. Oh my gosh. That was audacious from Andrei Yarmolenko. I don't know if he was onside, but that was a lovely strike. That would have been such a lovely goal. He was onside as well, Yarmolenko, and he's like flashed across him and he's just hit it first time. And it's not far away, you know, not far away. He's hit it dead straight. He's pulled it wide, but here goes Kante in a little bit of space. Kante into Timo Werner. Werner back into Kante again. Come on, Chelsea, can we create anything? Good turn from Kante at the edge of the box. Into Timo Werner. Werner back into Kante. There's the whole rest of the team to play with as well, guys. Don't forget about the rest of them. Good touch from Loftus-Cheek. Here's Chalobah. Chalobah, good touch to get away from his man. Chalobah whips in across, looking for Kai Havertz. Cleared, though, by Craig Dawson. Only as far as Thiago Silva, who wanders on a run, and he's given the ball away there to Pablo Fornells, who tries to poke through. I think that was Said Ben Rana he tried to poke through there, but the pass was just overhit. I would love a ham sandwich in this race. What? Where is the correlation of a ham sandwich there, Sean? Not sure about that one. Still 0-0, Burnley versus Wolves. Would Haaland still be cleared? Would Haaland still be considered a top? Oh God, I cannot say the sentence. Batman, you've got me stumped. Would Haaland still be a consider? Would he still be considered a top player if he doesn't get two goal scorers in the Premier League? Get top. Oh my God. Would Haaland still be considered a top-class player if he doesn't get top two goal scorers in the Premier League? Thank you, ladies and gents. I'm here all day. I think he would be.
I think he would be, you know. I'm not sure it'd affect him too much. It looks like he's off to Manchester City anyway, so I think he's guaranteed to get himself some goals. It just depends on what that defensive / other outputs would be, in terms of assists, creation, whether he's actually playing well. If he ends up like Timo Werner and is just getting, creating opportunities, then maybe so. It depends on what his role would be. Of course, Pep Guardiola would have to change the way his team is set up as well, which would of course cause a few problems in itself. In comes a free kick here from Soufal, cleared as far as Aaron Cresswell. To me, being a top-class player is more than numbers, but Haaland is bagging. So with the sheer amount of chances City create, absolutely, it is more than numbers. It's about the way that you play, and that's what I mean when I talk about creation, defensive, whatever it may be. Those extra little things that you don't notice. That's why, for me, someone like a Roberto Firmino can be considered a higher class player than maybe someone like a Mikel Antonio, because whilst Antonio, particularly this season, has outscored Roberto Firmino when he plays, obviously it's not a good analogy at the moment because Firmino isn't playing, he's injured as well. When that is the case, that defensive attributes also come into play, I think that's a big thing. I think that's a really, really big thing in terms of football. And like you say, it's not just about the goals that they score, but when you are drilling in as many as probably drilling in wasn't probably the correct phrase there, but when you are scoring as many goals as Erling Haaland has done in Europe, what a tackle that is from Kante. He tried to roll it into Werner, nearly got him on that transition again, like we say, Wiki. But with the amount of goals that Haaland's scoring at the moment, it is unbelievable, the amount. Ooh. Mason Mount picks up the ball, and that's been blocked. Sorry, I was oohing at the unsafe release in the F1. Lewis Hamilton nearly got slammed into the side of the pit wall by Esteban Ocon. Which is probably the most exciting thing that's happened today. It's all going off in the F1, but unfortunately not a lot going on in this game in terms of clear-cut opportunities. Chelsea trying to gain possession and maintain possession, but they, like we spoke about against Real Madrid, they hit so well on the counter-attack as Alonso goes down the line into Timo Werner. Werner's going to whip one in towards Havertz there. Havertz's head was a bit of a 50p. Kante's managed to nick it back though. Kante's having a good game so far. Into Mason Mount. Mount rolls it out wide to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and that's straight into the hands of Fabianski. Is it a derby day today? It is most certainly. It's Merseyside derby this afternoon. You can see it's scrolling across the bottom of your screen with Liverpool versus Everton kicking off, I believe, about 5:30. It might be 4:30 actually, now that I've said that. I didn't quite double check that. It is, yes. I will get that sorted in a second. It'll be strange seeing Manchester City play with a typical number 9. It most certainly will do. It's been quite a few years now, hasn't it? Because obviously the season where Aguero, it was his last season, he didn't really play then anyway, did he? He didn't really play then anyway, and so you can add that season as an extra season. So it's been really 2 seasons since we've seen Manchester City with an out-and-out striker, a typical striker that we would associate with Manchester City. And is it a derby game? This game is definitely a derby as well. This game is definitely, but he's not considered one of the biggest derbies, is it? Let's have a look. Firmino is easily a better footballer than Antonio. You can see it with your eyes. Eye test is super important. Yeah, that's the thing. I think Antonio has been, over the last season or so, has been playing at pretty much his peak. We've seen the drop-off in form for Mikel Antonio over the last maybe 2-3 months, that he hasn't been able to maintain that. And I think that's where the purple patch shows when you look at players such as a Firmino, who can come on and just do whatever and still play really, really well, and still put in a good shift as well. And that's the important thing. It doesn't matter how long out that they've been, they'll come in and they'll put in a pretty good performance, if you ask me. And I've always rated Roberto Firmino. He's one of the clumsiest footballers in terms of dribbling that I think I've ever seen. Is Charles Leclerc going to try something again? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's annoying how much more entertaining the F1 is being today. I knew this would happen. Mercedes are going outside. I really want Hamilton to get the most championships so people can stop disrespecting him. But I guess the cycle may be ending soon. I think the thing for me, I grew up watching Schumacher, so I'm not overly... With Hamilton, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I'd love to see him get it. Obviously, from a British perspective, it would be ace as well as... Trevor Chalobah there gets flattened by Pablo Fornals. But from a British perspective, obviously, I said that's so British there. From a British perspective, I don't see it. I understand. You know, I'd love to see Lewis be the most, have the most world championships. But from a child inside of me perspective, Michael Schumacher was the man who I grew up watching win world championships, and of course Fernando Alonso as well with those back-to-back ones for Renault. So I'm not, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but Mercedes have dropped off this season, really dropped off this season. But to be fair, despite the fact that Russell and Hamilton claim that they've got the 7th fastest car in the grid, considering they've both had podium finishes so far this season, I would beg to differ. I most certainly would beg to differ. Kante into Havertz. Havertz is going to roll it into Alonso, and that pass is just... It's that final ball for Chelsea at the minute. They're just giving the ball away way too easily, way too easily. Can you imagine if it's West Ham and Millwall? I know that would be absolute scenes. Can Haaland play in different positions and rotate with other players in game? I don't think we've seen it really, have we? I don't think we've seen it. He doesn't quite have that three-dimensional feel to him, i.e. he can move around and do whatever. He doesn't quite have that rotation ability that we've seen at the moment. But then we haven't needed to see it. His role in the Borussia Dortmund team and the Salzburg team, his role was exactly the same both times. It was be that goal scorer. As Kante whips in another cross. Kante's loving whipping in the crosses here. But his role has always been be the goal scorer, score the goals, and he's not had to be asked of anything else, has he? He's not had the questions asked. Or what if you've got another striker with you? Unlike an Mbappe, where it's like, oh well, we've got Mauro Icardi, we've got, I don't know, Neymar, we've got Messi, who are going to play through the middle. Where can you play? He's never had that question asked of him. He's always been the main man. Always been the main man. West Ham with a free kick here. Opportunity to get the ball into the box. Are we actually going to see a shot on target, ladies and gents, before half time? That is my question. Are we going to see it? It'll be an interesting one if we can. Hopefully so. Fornals is over this free kick for West Ham United. It's whipped in, and oh my god, 50p head again from Havertz, who tries to header it clear, and that's well claimed there from Edouard Mendy, who I didn't realise is 6'6" as well. Sam, what refreshments have you got? I've got a cup of tea. I've just got a I think it's apple and blackcurrant squash, that's what I've got, Sean. Hamilton is one of the fastest drivers ever, and the things that people call him and stuff, like, I get the Schumacher prop, but the way the fans are is cultish, where they can't appreciate anyone else. When Lewis is gone, people will start gassing him up again. That's just how the world is. They don't appreciate it. It's nostalgia biased, isn't it? And that's why, you know, especially with Michael Schumacher, unfortunately with his accident and stuff like that, there's added extra nostalgia to Michael Schumacher at the moment, and you know, it is one of those things. Who scored Brighton's goal? It was Mohamed Salisu own goal, and the first one was a Danny Welbeck own goal
as well. A Danny Welbeck own goal as well. Danny Welbeck own goal, did I say? Or Danny Welbeck goal? I can't remember now that I've said that. Oh, God. My head's everywhere. My head is everywhere. Yeah, I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. It's undoubtable for me that Lewis Hamilton is probably the best, if not one of the, if not top 3 best drivers of all time. Like, the number of wins he has had tells you everything you need to know. Although it's whipped this one in from Ruben Loftus-Cheek there, and it's headed clear again. I thought Chelsea were going to have some promising signs here. You can tell when it's a boring game because me and Wiki are talking about. I did say own goal. I thought I did. It was Danny Welbeck, and then a Mohamed Salisu own goal. The other 2 goals. Yeah, you can tell when it's a boring game because me and Wiki are currently sat talking about F1. Which has been a lot more entertaining at the moment. I can tell you that now. 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half here, ladies and gents. Danny Welbeck own goal. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic. Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets the ball down. Good play there from Loftus-Cheek. Skips past one into Timo Werner. Back into Loftus-Cheek again. Here's Marcus Alonso, who's had a decent start to this game. Oh, Loftus-Cheek's pass there was a bit... Ooh, good touch from Kante there. The pass from Loftus-Cheek was really, really poor. But good touch from Kante, but Havertz can't do anything with that following that. Here is... Thomas Souček. I think both teams just look a little bit flat at the moment, don't they? Oh, Kante and Souček go in there hard as Alonso scoops one forward. Both teams just look really, really flat. When Rudiger leaves for Toon, is he getting replaced by James Tarkowski? The rate we're going, Aaron, it will be James Tarkowski. Fraser is a Scouser. He's not actually. He's from Newcastle. Chelsea really have to get their summer right because this is dire. I know. And usually, Dyer plays for Spurs. Boom. Okay, yeah. I think I deserve a 5-minute mute for that one. I think I deserve a 5-minute mute for that one. Oh my God! Come on, Chelsea. I'm actually just hoping for half time because something's got to change in this second half, surely, for either side. At this rate, I'll take it from anyone. I will take it from anyone. Surely something's got to change, man. Surely something's got to change. It's been a shambolic first half. I don't think there's been a shot on target. I'm going to check the stats at half time actually and see if there has been a shot on target because I don't think there has. I really don't think there has. It's been a really, really poor game, to be honest with you. Kante's played well. Jorginho tries to flip one forward there. Kante again nicking the ball back. I think he's probably been the best player on the pitch, N'Golo Kante. He's been absolutely everywhere. Aaron's on the wind-up. In 2022, Newcastle are 3rd in the league. It's a shame that there isn't just a 2022 season, isn't it, Aaron? It is a shame. But it's fair play. I mean, I don't think have you drawn a game since January? I don't think you have. But I was looking at the home and away stats earlier. That is half time eventually. Finally, that took its time, didn't it? Yeah, I was looking at the. God, I've gone a long way through the timer there. I don't want to go down for 1,000 seconds. Pause. Google it. Points gained in 20. Yeah, I don't doubt it. You're above us in terms of home points as well. Because Chelsea are down in 9th. I think Newcastle are in 7th or something like that. But it wouldn't surprise me. You've had a nice sort of run of games at the moment. Oh, Southampton have just scored as well. Southampton have just scored as well. We should be 3rd, says Lewis. I'm not sure "should" is the quite the right word, but definitely be happy with that. Following the, I think it was 14, 15 games without a win for Newcastle United. Very interesting. Very interesting one. But Saints have scored themselves. Let's see who has scored for Southampton. Of course it is. It's James Ward-Prowse, JWP. is the man who has scored for Southampton. Let's have a quick look. Whilst it is half time, we're going to go on Sofa Score, and we'll take a look at the stats in this game and see if it really has been that bad, or if it's just because of all the excitement. Oh my God, there is no shots on target. There is no shots on target. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe there has been no shots on target in this game. How? I think the last time I actually watched West Ham United, it was against Burnley, and that was a 0-0 draw as well. We should have known. We should have known. But as you can see, look at the stats on the left-hand side. It's all possession, but no shots on target. 3 block shots, 3 shots off target, 1 block shot, 2 shots off target. What are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that, folks? It's not been a great first half, that at all. Not been a great first half, that at all. Very, very strange how poor that has been from both sides, to be honest. But like, you look at it, like West Ham side is so weakened. This Chelsea side isn't too far off max strength. It isn't too far off max strength, and I don't quite know what Chelsea need to do better, except from being and stating the complete obvious, and the complete obvious being they need to pass the ball faster, take more shots from different places, and move it quicker. Move it quicker. It has to be quicker. Because Chelsea, it's all well and good having you 70% possession, but if that's not leading anywhere, you might as well have 2% possession. You might as well have no possession of the ball. If you're not going to score or take shots on target, or even look willing to commit players, other than to go down the right hand side and try to whip in the cross, then there's no point. There is literally no point in doing that, because you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere with ball possession. It sounds like a Michael Owen quote, but if you don't shoot, you don't score. And that is so true for Chelsea today. If you don't shoot, you don't score. I do play FIFA, yes. But if you don't shoot, you don't score. And hence why it is a 0-0 game, this one. No shots on target. No nothing. Gonna be a long second half by the looks of things. Long second half. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gents. Let me know your thoughts on this first half. I mean, Oliver, I think, summed it up earlier by saying boring game. I think that's the best way it's been summed up, to be honest. Don't know how West Ham's team has gone up from 29.9 years to 30 years average age during that game, but happy birthday to whoever's birthday it just became. For that to change. It's a good job I pointed that out. That's quite funny, actually. Probably the highlight of this game is the fact that has changed mid-game from 29.9 years to 30 years. You know it's been such a bad game. You know it's been an unbelievably bad game when that is the highlight of the game. The fact that West Ham United's team has got 0.1 of a year older in 45 minutes. Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable. Amazing as Barcelona, but just Steve Bruce, Barcelona, had us 14 games without a win at the start. Unbelievable. I don't know. I don't even know. I really don't know. Is it the transfers? Is it just being a competent manager? I don't know. I have an Xbox. I have an Xbox One. It is at least, it needs to be faster, sharper passing in the final third, braver in them areas. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more, Aaron. Couldn't agree with you more. You've got to do something than just try and go around the outside of West Ham. You know, they've got Loftus-Cheek out there for a reason, and they want to be able to use the technical ability. There's no point in crossing a ball in towards Timo Werner and Mason Mount from Ruben Loftus-Cheek's side. If Havertz isn't in there, they're not going to win it. Marcus Alonso needs to get himself up that left-hand side. And, you know, what works so well for Liverpool is that both of those fullbacks are able to bomb forward and get themselves on the ball. And of course, Chelsea, they're not able to do that. They're not causing too many problems in wide areas. There's very much, the best way to say it is, they're being matched today. They are being matched by West Ham United. West Ham are making it look so easy to keep Chelsea where they want to keep them. They have them where they want them, and they're not gonna try and change that. West Ham, Chelsea need to be proactive in the way that they play. The way that they play on in this game, because otherwise they're going to have a second half where no one can move anything, no one can get the players around, they can't create any opportunities, and they've created nothing in this first half. Nothing. A few block shots from outside of the box, a couple of half dangerous crosses, but nothing really. Sam, what are your thoughts on Frank Lampard? He's absolutely amazing. No, but seriously, I think he needs to. I think he needs a little bit more time at Everton. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. I think he needs a little bit more time at Everton. But what a fantastic guy. But I think Everton are getting relegated. What difficulty do you play FIFA on? I play Xbox on Legendary. I haven't played FIFA in a while, actually, I must say. I've been playing F1 at the moment. I've been enjoying that a lot more. Just because FIFA, for me, just gets boring very, very quickly. And I now have no incentive to do it as well, because there's no Chelsea players who are on the, who are on FIFA anymore. There's no new Chelsea cards coming out, so why would I bother? Bruce just doesn't care. Part-time coach who only wants a payoff. Hal made a huge difference from day one, because he actually cares and he actually puts the work in. Sam, you actually sounded like Lampard there. That's what I was going for, Aaron. I'm glad you noticed that. Yeah, I think it's been a weird season. You looked at the Newcastle side and you always went, well, there's some talent in there, and I just think you've been. I wasn't sure when you signed Trippier. I thought he looked like a good final piece to the puzzle, but you've put the rest of the puzzle together backwards, and now it looks a lot better. If you'd have just if you'd have gone, yeah, we've got Trippier, I'd have been like, and I'd be like, why have you got Trippier? Like, when you first signed him, I was like, why have you got Trippier? What is the plan here? But then you brought in Dan Burn, you brought in Target, you brought in Bruno, you brought in Chris Wood, and then all of a sudden I'm like, right, okay. He was the final piece to the puzzle, that bit of world-class ability. Sam, have you ever had any tattoos done on you? No, I haven't. I'm not a big tattoo person, if I'm honest with you. I'm too indecisive, is my problem. Sean, I am too indecisive for a tattoo. I think I get fed up of it too quickly. That'd be my problem. I'd get like Active Aaron tattooed down my arm, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, Aaron would say that Chris Wood's the greatest of all time, and I'd want to get it thingied off my arm again, and that'd be the way that it works for me. Half-time game. We're not having a half-time game today, Fraser. We're just going to chill out and hopefully wait for, well, we've only got a few minutes anyway to wait for the game to resume, because it will be about 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm going to sit and watch the F1 whilst we've got the opportunity. During Bruce's era, everyone said championship squad, when in reality we already had a mid-table squad that was Bruce. I find it quite hard, like, to gauge where they were. Like with Ryan Fraser and people like that, there was no talent. There was talent in attacking areas. It was just you were so unlucky as well with injuries, and that's probably because you didn't get too many what do you call it? Training sessions per week. That's probably part of the reason for that one. Oh, Lewis Hamilton sat down in 14th here, and he's been absolutely on the back of Pierre Gasly the whole time. The whole time he's been on the back of Pierre Gasly, and he cannot get past him. I've been watching it for about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 laps, and he's been right behind him this whole time. I find it weird as well how there's just like a dry, almost like a dry course through the racing line. That always, I find that weird. But if anyone is wondering how the F1 is going, it's Verstappen, who has an 11-second lead to his teammate Perez, and then Leclerc and Norris and George Russell of Mercedes then in 5th.
A little bit further behind there is Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel is 11 seconds behind Bottas. Magnussen in 8th, Yuki Tsunoda in 9th, and Lance Stroll completing the points with Lewis Hamilton, like I say, down in 14th place. Kante might need to come off. He's not good against low blocks. Kovacic needs to come on. Yeah, I think the difficulty is, Wiki, just from watching it from the eye test, he's probably been the best Chelsea player. I don't know what the stats have been looking like in that sense, but he has been Chelsea's best player in terms of breaking up the play and actually doing a half-decent job. So that is the one thing that I'm questioning with that. That is the one thing I'm questioning with that at the moment. Nice accent. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Did I put on a specific accent? I don't remember doing that. Let's have a look. I think Mason Mount's just coming back onto the field here, so we will be underway shortly. Jorginho can drop in front of the centre backs and dictate. Kovacic progress the ball further. That's what Mateo Kovacic is at his best at. And injuries because of Bruce's dinosaur training methods and playing people through injuries. Again, Google, Bruce had an injury crisis wherever he has been. When you were saying the Formula One, thank you. Oh, clearly I have a sexy accent. Thank you, Lewis. Right, I'm going to pop for a wee just quickly before we get ourselves underway. I'll be back in 2 seconds, so don't go anywhere. And let us know your score predictions for the second half. Here we go. Prank Sam. That doesn't really work, Sean, when you put it in the chat and I come back. Doesn't really work. 3-2 to West Ham. Come on, Lewis. Pull the other one, mate. I like you, lad, but pull the other one. It's not going to be 3-2 West Ham. It's only Curly who can make outrageous 4-4 Arsenal versus Chelsea predictions and them nearly come off. Secret poo. I mean, it wasn't quite what I was going for. Wasn't quite what I was going for at all. He's been the best player, but his passing isn't going to help you unlock their defensive block. Very true. That's always the problem with N'Golo Kante. Oh my god, my quad just like seized up as I sat back down there. Jesus, man. Fine, 2-1, says Lewis. And Sean's gone 5-5. If it is 5-5, Sean, I will shave my head. I will say that with absolute confidence that it's not going to be 5-5. But if it's 5-5 in the second half and we see 10 goals, I will happily shave my head. That is all the drama I want. The players are coming back out onto the field here. I don't know what I've just done to my calf, but that's really tightened up. Ow, really painful. Please 5-5, says Lewis. Now you're going to be desperate. You're going to be paying people to try and get the message down to Stamford Bridge to get them to score. Match fixing at its finest. Is that Max Verstappen on the back of Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes? Am I seeing that correctly? It is. Max Verstappen is going to lap Lewis Hamilton. He's going to lap him. Oh my gosh. We're underway in the second half, ladies and gents. We are underway. God, how far has that Mercedes fallen, lads? How far has that Mercedes fallen? How about if it ends 3-2 and Werner gets one and Havertz gets one as well and Yarmolenko, you have to shave your head. Oh God, don't put that pressure on me. Fraser didn't get his 4-4 prediction against Arsenal. No, neither did Curly. Just a bit of banter. Just a bit of banter. It was very close though. Very close. It was a good prediction. Curly literally said right at the beginning, because him and Fraser both said it, but I think Curly said it first. Curly went, there's going to be loads of goals, it's going to be 4-all, and Fraser was like, yeah, 4-all. As Ben Rama goes down the left-hand side, back into Mazawaku. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, good defensive play there from Loftus-Cheek, he can't quite clear the ball away. Throw in for West Ham. Have I got the background sound on? I don't think I turned it off, did I? No, I didn't turn it off. That's fine by me. Fine by me. Oh, got an itchy head. Fine by me. Mercedes have just got to work on next year's car at this point. I mean, there's a long way to go in the season in the wiki, but you've got to feel the more it progresses. But I guess the thing is, like, Russell is sat down in 5th. So maybe it's just the car being more suited to George Russell, and George Russell coming from Williams and being in a car that needed to have the best out of it to get any form of points finish. And so Hamilton's used to having the fastest car. Is it one of those things? I don't know. I really don't know. But we will be starting a little bit of inside news for you here. We will be starting on this channel every Thursday night. Is going to be, every Thursday before a race night, that will be. We will be starting a little bit of an F1 show. Louis will be joining us, who a few of you might recognise. Other Chelsea fan, he was there with me when Chelsea won the Champions League. But we will be starting an F1 show, so if you do enjoy that, as always, do be sure to drop some support on the channel, and we're going to go through a bit of a rebrand, a bit of a restructure over the coming weeks, coming months, and to do something that, you know, I enjoy doing these watch-alongs, and we'll keep maintaining them, so there will still be at least maybe 1 or 2 watch-alongs per week, but just to keep things nice and fresh and move things along nicely, and of course, what's the word? And of course keep us improving as a channel. Oh, West Ham just a little bit sloppy there from Souček, but it's really well played. They've managed to get themselves out really easily there, and then Mazawaku, who can find Ben Rama, who can roll it out wide once again. Here's Soufal off this right hand side. He's going to drift into a little bit of space himself. He looks a little bit clumsy, Soufal, the way he was running there. He looked like he hasn't kicked a ball in years. Here's Yarmolenko back into Soufal. Sorry, that's Mark Noble. Can't get a legend muddled up with Soufal. Good touch from Souček there. Here's Yarmolenko. West Ham have definitely come out the better of the two sides in this second half. Definitely come out the better of the two sides. Looking like they're meaning business for the second half. Let's have a look, ladies and gents. How many likes are on? We're on 10 likes. The goal, as always, is 15 likes in this stream. So if you could, smash that like button and hit subscribe. That would be absolutely fantastic. Come on, West Ham. I'm just bantering. Come on, Chelsea, says Sean. Sean loves it. Sean loves the attention. That's what you do, isn't it, Sean? You love the attention. Marcus Alonso tries to clip one forward there, looking for Timo Werner. Not quite on the same wavelength. Chelsea, are they still in the dressing room? I don't quite know what's going on here. Mazawaku, lovely turn and spin there from Arthur Mazawaku, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek's done really well to keep him where he needed him there. Loftus-Cheek into Jorginho. Back into Thiago Silva. Chelsea really need to up this, really need to up it. But a poor start to the second half. Is Latifi going to have crashed? No, something's come off the back of Latifi's car. Am I allowed to say the S word once? I mean, I'm not overly bothered about that one. You can say it, yeah, you can say. I only really use it when it's in the word shithouse, so. It's just always one of those things, Lewis. I wonder when Chelsea are going to be taking over. Could be anywhere, couldn't it? It could be anywhere from this week to next week to whatever. It could be literally anywhere. I really don't know. Mason Mount tries to header the ball towards Kai Havertz. Here's Marcus Alonso, who's going to find Mason Mount again, who's going to put in a ball towards that back post, and it's just gone wide. No one in there in the box though for Chelsea, and probably the story of Chelsea's season really. No one in the box, no one attacking the ball, and no striker there to make that move. And Kai Havertz, you can see he's got the brain of an attacking midfielder there. He pulls to the edge of the box. He does, and you know, it's going to cause him so many problems if Havertz is put into the edge of the box, because Chelsea just have nothing. Here goes Kante in a little bit of space here. At least he's being positive with the ball into Marcus Alonso. Here's Mason Mount once again, who's going to try to go to the byline now, and he cuts one back. That's a good ball in. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, that might fall to Werner. Oh, what a block that is from Craig Dawson. I thought Werner was going to smash that one into the top corner there, and Craig Dawson out of nowhere chucks his body in the way. Some people might not like swearing, some people do. I love it, says Sean. Werner again with a half opportunity being closed down. He's just getting himself into the game here. Can Timo Werner up this here for Chelsea? Come on. We need someone to grab this game by the throat, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek might be that man there as he nicks the ball high off Aaron Cresswell. Here's Thiago Silva, Kante into Loftus-Cheek once again. He chops back. Lovely play from Loftus-Cheek into Kai Havertz. Oh my God, my page just crashed. No! Havertz clips it in towards Marcus Alonso and it's headed clear. I can't believe it just crashed. The whole page just crashed there. Oh, Mark Noble, that was a little bit clumsy on Kante. Just on the edge of the box. That's a brilliant touch from Said Benrahma. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I tell you what, you can tell the man wants to stay at Chelsea next season. Thiago Silva into Mason Mount. Mount drops it back to Jorginho. Kante into the box, down to the byline to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It's pulled back, but it's not quite cleared properly. It's going to fall to Marcus Alonso, is it? No, not quite. Oh, Chelsea applying the pressure now. Whipped in again by Thiago Silva and then headed clear. I'm pretty sure the deadline for the takeover is the end of May. Yeah, I know they put a deadline on it, but it keeps being extended. It's been extended a couple of times as Said Benrahma tries to roll through Andrei Yarmolenko. There's Mason Mount. Werner. Oof. Good block there. Really, really good block. Timo Werner's just starting to get a few of his shots flying through the defence of West Ham. Chelsea maybe just starting to create a few minor opportunities starting to come Chelsea's way here. It was a golden opportunity. It was a lovely lofted ball in from Mason Mount, and then Craig Dawson. What a block that is! As Ruben Loftus-Cheek headers back into the centre. It's a lovely block. A lovely block. He's full on committed there. Got his body in the way and done a really, really, really good job. Craig Dawson there. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. Can't lie, Mourinho has to take blame for Rudiger and Christensen leaving. I think with Christensen, the problem was he wanted like 350 grand a week. And I think that's the problem with that one. Rudiger, I just think he had his head turned so early on. Antonio Rudiger, he had his head turned. As soon as January came about, there was always the questions. Sean is back to work tomorrow. Easter break is finished. What do you do, Sean? But best of luck at work tomorrow. Best of luck at work tomorrow. I know Josh has been off for a while over the Easter break. Benrahma into Pablo Fornals. Dawson. Cresswell back into Dawson once again. Southampton have just equalised against Brighton. What a game that is. What a game that is. Surprisingly, the one that me and Josh don't choose to pick up on is the one that is firing the goals in for today. Typical really, isn't it? Typical really is the Saints get themselves back at 2-2 against Brighton. Unbelievable. Unbelievable tackles. Johnson. That's a great ball down the line, and Andrei Yarmolenko's got him behind Chelsea here. He rolls it back. Souček. Oh, good block there from Trevor Chalobah. I think he took a deflection on the way through as well. Here's Aaron Cresswell, who's going to whip one in, and that's straight into the hands of the 6 feet tall Edouard Mendy. 6'6" Edouard Mendy. Doesn't look that big when he's in the goal. He's a monumental human being. And yes, Saints are at our level, Fraser. Another goal from James Ward-Prowse. What a player James Ward-Prowse is. Is it still 0-0 in the other game as well, Sean? Is that what you're saying? Come on, Burnley. Burnley or Everton, eh? Who goes down? Havertz in a little bit of space there. Going to cut in on that left foot of his. Into Kante. Kante's going to drift in and go. Oh, Kante! Oh my gosh, what a save that is from Fabianski. What a save that is. And I'm not saying that because it was like an overly world-class shot from N'Golo Kante, but it takes the most wicked of deflections off, I think it's a combination of Ben Johnson and Craig Dawson in front of him. It's off Ben Johnson, and he full on dives, and then he just manages to stop himself and grab the ball. Very, very good save. Very good save, but the game's just starting to open up here. It's starting to be a little bit end-to-end for both sides. I get that it's part of negotiations, but he could have felt disrespected also because they never gave him a timeline for when the offer might be completed. That is very, very true. They didn't really give. There wasn't really much clue, was there, in for Rudiger of when he was gonna. What's the word? When he was going to have a particular agreement sorted. And he, definitely lowballed. Usually the way to go about it, isn't it? But you know, if especially with the situation Chelsea have now been put into, where they can't therefore, what's the word? They can't now sign people for him to have been lowballed instantly, and then she now can't come back and say anything. Mason Mount finds Trevor Chalobah in some space. Chalobah! Oof, good save from Fabianski. Well, because Chelsea now can't say anything, and they can't change their mind, and they can't be like, oh yeah, we can offer you this. Because we can't. We don't have anything to offer. I know the score, and I can see it at the bottom. I just want Burnley to beat Wolves. Fair enough. I think it is still 0-0. I've not checked in a little while. I've not had a notification either, so wouldn't fill me with confidence. And here go West Ham, side Ben Rana. Oh, good defensive play there. He was 1-on-1 with Thiago Silva, and Thiago Silva's done ever so well to get himself back in position there. Interesting, in the F1, Charles Leclerc just went into the pits, and the next lap, Perez has followed him. He's about 30 seconds up the road though, so by the looks of things, Sergio Perez is still going to come out with at least 10 seconds maybe? Let's see how close it is. I don't think it's going to be that close at all. No, it's not. The whole home straight between Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez, but he might have closed a second or so on Sergio Perez, but not really done anything whatsoever. Sam, you and chat tell me who to pick. Foot captain Dempsey or 88 Cooper. I don't know who Cooper is, so I would go with Clint Dempsey. But is Clint Dempsey a cow in FIFA this year? I don't know. Fraser, guide us. Oh, Matty Vydra has scored for Burnley. Matty Vydra has scored for Burnley, and it's Burnley 1, Wolves 0. Your dream came true, eh? Sean, your dream came true. It's 1-0. Good stuff. Oh, Leclerc's only a second behind Perez now. Maybe it did help him. In the end. Max Verstappen's 40 seconds ahead of Sergio Perez in second. What is going on? Have Burnley scored? Yes, Matty Vydra has scored for Burnley against Wolves. Matty Vydra. Wout Weghorst assist. Of course it is. Wout Weghorst. What a legend. Sorry. Wout Weghorst assist. Legendary. Maybe they'll stay up. Maybe they'll stay up now. Who knows? Who knows, ladies and gents? Here's Thiago Silva into Aspilicueta. Aspilicueta's cross there was really, really poor. Let me know, guys, as well, what did you make of Aspilicueta gobbing off at that Chelsea fan, as Declan Rice is going to be introduced? The future Chelsea player, Declan Rice, and also former Chelsea player, but future Declan Rice, future Chelsea player Declan Rice is coming on, and the captain Mark Noble is coming off as well. He looks old now, doesn't he, Mark Noble? What a great servant he's been for West Ham United. Be happy to hang his boots up at the end of the season. I'm sure he will. And Declan Rice comes on and takes that captain's armband off him as well. Big day for Declan Rice. Big day for Declan Rice. Let's see if that changes the game in any way, shape or form. 60 minutes on the clock, and very, very few clear-cut opportunities or big opportunities for either side to boast at the moment. West Ham with the ball high up the field there. Pablo Fornals into Declan Rice. His first few touches of the ball. Back to Pablo Fornals again. Here is Aaron Cresswell, who's going to swing it wide to Arthur Mazuaku. Declan Rice once again. That's why Arsenal should get Weghorst if they go down. I mean, I won't be surprised, to be honest with you. Wout Weghorst. He's a very complete footballer. Oh my gosh! Charles Leclerc's just span out. Oh, at least some drama's happening somewhere. Carlos Sainz is already out and Charles Leclerc has just spun out, but managed to keep himself going. He's lost the place to Lando Norris, and Oliver said earlier, Lando Norris sounds very American. It does. I think he's English. I think he's British Belgium, I think is his thing, is his nationality. Sorry, yeah, Wout Weghorst. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I highlighted in my video the other day, I highlighted, what's his name? It's gone from my head now. Patrick Schick. For some reason, I just had in my head there, Willenny, because of Patrick Schick looking like him. But Patrick Schick, he could be, he's very similar in the play style to Dusan Vlahovic, particularly outscoring Vlahovic in the league in scoring less goals in less games. So he's played like 20 games, scored 20 goals in 19 games, whereas Dusan Vlahovic has played 26 games, scored 24 goals. Leclerc's he has spun off, yeah. And he's now down in 9th, Charles Leclerc. But yeah, I think either of those could be a good thing. It just depends as well, because is Wout Weghorst going to be your main goal scorer? That's the question. It depends how he fits in. Will he be a main goal scorer for you? I'm not so sure. And at that point, then if he's contributing assists more than he is goals, would you not rather just stick with Alex Lacazette? Someone who knows the club well, obviously the captain at the moment anyway. I think that's what I'd say anyway. Come on Chelsea, let's up it. Let's have ourselves a goal. What are my thoughts on Marcelo Bielsa and Frank Lampard? Well, Marcelo Bielsa, there's a bus named after Marcelo Bielsa in Leeds, which drives past me. It's one of the park and ride buses from Elland Road. But that being said, and an actual comment on Marcelo Bielsa is, I think he's been very unlucky this season. Of course, Jesse Marsh is now coming at Leeds United. I think Marcelo Bielsa has been very unlucky this season, that with the way that things have gone for Leeds in terms of Patrick Bamford's consistent injuries. Calvin Phillips is another player who's been out for long periods of time this season. And so you sit there and you think, did they was Bielsa not a one-trick pony, but was Bielsa a manager, who thrived upon certain players? You look at over the course of some managers' careers, and they have those players that they like to use. An obvious example: Harry Redknapp and Peter Crouch, and Nico Cranshaw, Jermaine Defoe. There was quite a few with Harry Redknapp, but maybe that's what Marcelo Bielsa was. And so when he didn't have his two golden boys in Patrick Bamford and Calvin Phillips at his disposal, maybe that was the problem. He didn't have a plan B for that. He didn't expect them both to go out, and that's when the problems arose for Leeds United. Oh yeah, I forgot I was talking about that Aspilicueta bit. I forgot I was talking about that. Wiki, I've just started this account and I've done the start to SBC and I'm knocking that Chuka. I was playing for FIFA. I want Liverpool to win the Merseyside derby. Come on, you Reds. Sean just loves everyone. Oh my gosh. Who was that wandering into space there? I think it was Thiago Silva who wandered through into a load of space. It was. And he drove into loads of space and shot. And that's just at the back of Timo Werner. It was a good positive run though from Thiago Silva. He spotted the gap, and that's what Chelsea are going to miss next season. It is what Chelsea are going to miss next season, is that run from Antonio Rudiger, which he does so often and causes so many problems for them. Depends on what was said, because Aspilicueta started talking and the fan apologised, so clearly something was said to pee off the fan. Bielsa is a top coach, clearly improves players and plays great football, but very stubborn, and that can hurt a team. That's what I mean. I don't think he had that plan B, did he? When Calvin Phillips and Patrick Bamford got injured, he hadn't thought about it, and you saw the development of those two players specifically under Marcelo Bielsa. I just don't think he had the backup plan that he desired and needed to keep Leeds United up this season. But yeah, Aspilicueta, I found it weird. Like, the fan has every right to be angry at Aspilicueta. Has every right to be angry. It depends on what is shouted, because if I was like, oh, you're an idiot, blah blah blah, yeah, I can understand why Aspilicueta would be annoyed. But, if you're commenting on their football, it's fair criticism. It is fair criticism. If you were like, oh, what are you doing? Why have you given away that penalty? What have you doing? You just lost us a game. That kind of thing. Justifiable in my personal opinion. There is only one other person than me watching. It says that, but I don't think it can be right, because we've just had Sean comment, we've just had Wiki comment, and I've got my phone as well. So I don't know quite how it works as West Ham United get unleashed in behind here, and Yarmolenko, oh my gosh, a smart double save there from Eduard Mendy, manages to keep the score at 0-0. 70 minutes on the clock. Are Chelsea going to be able to counter-attack here with Mason Mount? He's got Kai Havertz in front of him. Uses Ruben Loftus-Cheek instead. Here is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Rolls it out wide to Mason Mount. Mount into Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's going to try pull one back towards Mason Mount. Oh, good strike. Is that going to fall for Werner? Oh, he's put it into the side netting. So desperately unlucky from Timo Werner. He couldn't quite get the ball out of his feet, and by the time he was from the side of the goal, and it goes straight into the side of the net. He's so close from Timo Werner. There was the body of Dawson in the way, so he couldn't just shoot. It wasn't as simple as just shoot where it is, and then by the time he'd taken the shot, the angle was tight, and he fires it into the side netting from Timo Werner. Derby are relegated to League One. Sad times, not what we all wanted to hear whatsoever. Chelsea yet to make a change in this game, which is unbelievable if you ask me. The way that Chelsea have played today, it hasn't been fast-flowing football whatsoever. And that's a great ball, though, in behind to Mason Mount. Mount, he's got support from Timo Werner. And it's, oh my gosh! That was one person not put that in the box there. Mount pulls it back. It's tapped by Marcus Alonso, and then it cannons through some legs. I think there was Havertz in there, and it somehow goes all the way through. Jorginho into Chalobah. Back into Jorginho once again. Come on, Chelsea. Let's have a go. Ruben Loftus-Cheek now into Kante. Kante finds Kai Havertz. Is he going to bend one looking for that far corner? No, he isn't. He instead goes short to Jorginho. Here's Kante once again. N'Golo Kante finds Jorginho. Chelsea, you need to be more direct with this. Ruben Loftus-Cheek clips one in towards that back post looking for Marcus Alonso. And that header's just gone over there. Just gone over from Marcus Alonso. Oh, God. Oh, God. Marcus Alonso, man. If that had fallen to anyone else in that box there, it comes onto his right foot. So difficult, so difficult. They were relegated for a different reason because of... well, it was because of they had the points taken off them, wasn't it? Mendy does really well though. That was a smart double save to deny Andrea Yarmolenko. Are Chelsea going to make some substitutions because Yarmolenko's just come off as well and Jared Bowen's coming on. So this West Ham United side is arguably just getting stronger and stronger as they make these substitutions. Lewis saying, please Werner. You can only hope, you can only hope. There's 3 laps of the Imola Grand Prix left. Currently still being led by Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez and then Lando Norris. The top 10 is as follows: George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, as Mason Mount drives one into the box and Chelsea get themselves a corner. Yuki Tsunoda in 6th. Charles Leclerc is about a second behind Yuki Tsunoda in 7th. Sebastian Vettel in the first race he'll have finished all season is currently in 8th place. K-Mag, Kevin Magnussen in 9th place and Lance Stroll in 10th. With Lewis Hamilton still unable to get past Pierre Gasly. DRS now enabled though, so it might be able to help him. I hate Verstappen. I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not his biggest fan. There's just something about him I don't like. But Mason Mount's whipping this corner, whipped in towards Havertz at that front post. Alonso's going to get a second bite of the cherry to whip it in. It's fallen in the box of Werner! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Another save from Fabianski. Werner's getting unlucky again! He's getting unlucky again, man! Oh, that's so desperately unlucky. I don't know who it hits on the way through. It just clips its way off a West Ham United defender. I think it was Craig Dawson on the way through. And Werner spins and it's a half opportunity and Fabianski gets his hands to it nice and easily. Lewis, are you a Chelsea fan? No, he's just got Werner in his FPL team shot. He's got a Newcastle badge in his thing. Oh. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Come on, Chelsea. Let's have something. I'm fed up now. I'm fed up. Kai Havertz goes down to the byline. He's going to pull it back towards Werner again. Werner's everywhere at the minute. But West Ham are keeping him quiet somehow. Referee waves play on there. Ben Rana thought he was fouled. Here's Jorginho once again. Chelsea's pressure surely must tell at some point. Ruben Loftus-Cheek back to Kante. Kante's going to have a strike. Probably not the right decision there from N'Golo Kante. Oh my gosh. Chelsea finally come the substitutions. Brilliant. Thank you. Finally, Chelsea. Finally on come the substitutions. And they are Hakim Ziyech, who is going to be coming on the field of play for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Hakim Ziyech for Ruben Loftus-Cheek is the first one. Timo Werner. The Fortnite King is coming off after a good performance from Timo Werner. Just unlucky not to have scored for Christian Pulisic. And then Kai Havertz. Oh baby, do you know what that's worth? Kai Havertz is the best on earth. Is off for Romelu, the Belgian striker Romelu. Come on, Chelsea, win the final lap as well of the F1. It looks like Max Verstappen 15 seconds ahead, unless a minor slip on the final corner. He's gonna win the Imola Grand Prix. Ziyech into Christian Pulisic. Pulisic, come on, Chelsea, let's up it. Let's up it. We've got a final 15 minutes here to up it. Do something with it, please. I beg. I'm begging of you. Come on. Up it. This is so boring, Jesus. Why did I bother doing this game? I should have done the Brighton game. And Lando Norris gets himself a deserved podium after a good weekend, after a quick weekend for Lando Norris. But that is me done watching that. I will watch the highlights again in a little bit when they come out. But come on, Chelsea, let's up it. Let's have something. We've got how many minutes? We've got 13 minutes left of football as Mason Mount blazes one over. We've got 13 minutes left of football here at Stamford Bridge. Let's up it. Let's see if they can do something. Let's see if they can be inspired by that excellent performance from Max Verstappen that saw him take home a win there. Can Chelsea then take home a win here? That is my question, as Manuel Lanzini is going to be coming on for West Ham United again for side Ben Rana. This West Ham team just doesn't look like it's getting any weaker, and they're making substitution after substitution. West Ham United, I don't quite know how they've got all that talent, but they do. And to be honest with you, I'd be more confident bringing on their substitutes than I would have bringing on Romelu Lukaku. I'll tell you that now. Let's see if Lukaku can prove me wrong. Jared Bowen. So far whips in the ball there. Manuel Lanzini was the guy it was intended for. West Ham look like they're full of confidence. Lukaku tries to drop in. Really good play from Declan Rice to keep the ball away from Romelu Lukaku. Really good play from Declan Rice. Absolute beast of a player, Declan Rice there. And I don't know what formation Chelsea have now gone for, with Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming off. Interesting to see. Let's see the shape from this goal kick that Chelsea now have. Looks like Ziyech will be more at the right wing-back role for Chelsea going into this final 10 or so minutes at Stamford Bridge. Jorginho into Mason Mount, who's coming really deep to pick up the ball now. But Chelsea are trying to line this box. They've got Alonso, Pulisic and Lukaku all in the box at the moment. Alonso does well there to distribute the ball to Jorginho. Here is Trevor Chalobah, who whips it out wide to Hakim Ziyech, who's going to cut in on that left foot and whip the ball in there towards Romelu Lukaku. And I don't have a clue where Romelu Lukaku was running there. Do not have a clue whatsoever where he was running. The ball was clearly in behind him. I don't know if he thought Marcus Alonso was behind him, but not a clue. Not a clue. Apparently it's 3-2 to Brighton. It's 3-2 to Brighton, apparently. Let's have a look. Because I've not had that notification yet. Unless you're watching it dead live, which surely you can't be, because I don't think it's on telly. It's vending PAR. It's pending VAR, if I can get my words out, the goal. So Brighton have scored, but they're waiting for VAR to decide if it is a goal. That must be so weird for Declan Rice and Mason Mount. Like childhood best friends, literally best friends. VAR, goal offside. See, don't count your chickens. Don't count your chickens, Fraser. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Oh, come on, Chelsea. Surprisingly, I'm more disappointed. I don't think I'm more disappointed at this result than the last West Ham result, because that was god awful. If I'm honest with you, I was absolutely fuming at that performance last time out. Bit of argy-bargy going on there between Marcus Alonso and Declan Rice. Of course, Mason Mount being the man to step in. Oh, it's a little bit clumsy from Marcus Alonso. I will say that, it's a little bit clumsy. He jumps up, his elbow is in the back of him. When it's the Merseyside derby, it is at 4:30, so it's in just under an hour. The team lineups are out, so it's probably going to be a bit more entertaining to read them than it will be to actually watch the game at the moment, as I think Declan Rice gives away a foul on Mason Mount there. Let's have a look. Here are the lineups. You can probably guess the whole Liverpool lineup in one go. Alisson Becker, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Thiago, Fabinho, Keita, Salah, Jota and Sadio Mane. And then Everton, Pickford, Mikalenko, Godfrey, Holgate, Coleman, Iwobi, Allen, Decore, and then Gray, Gordon and Richarlison. So those are the team lineups for the Merseyside derby, which kicks off in about 40-50 minutes or so. Are you streaming that or not? Not tonight. I'm going to chill out tonight. I've got some videos to record and some to clip up as well and put on different social media platforms and move them about as well. So keep your eyes peeled for them. But yeah, there will be the second part of Friday's video. If you haven't seen it, do be sure to go check it out for us and drop it some love. Well, the second part of Friday's video will be going live this Friday. I've just been doing my research for it all morning. Aspilicueta in towards Lukaku. Oh, God. Apparently someone was appealing for a handball in there. Ooh. Does hit this arm of Craig Dawson. It'd be a little bit harsh if they gave that. Alonso whips in the corner though. They've wiped that away from our screens. Fraser, shout out your YouTube channel. I think I've got Fraser's YouTube channel. I don't know if I'm on a different account, so I don't know if I can find it. For the second part, you should put Newcastle for what? Oh, Chelsea have just got a penalty, Craig Dawson. That is so clumsy from Craig Dawson. And he's got himself a yellow card. The foul on Romelu Lukaku, which really, really clumsy. That's come out of nothing there. It was just a ball hoofed back up the field. Paqueta. Ah, that makes sense. Let's have a look. Romelu Lukaku just shifts his body. And yeah, he's pulled him back. There's not really any need, to be honest, either. He's pulled him back. It's a good header from Thiago Silva to flick the ball in, and Chelsea have got themselves a penalty, and now an opportunity for Jorginho, I assume, to do the honours. Come on. They're going to check it. It was a nice movement from Romelu Lukaku. Craig Dawson gets himself the wrong side, but it's definitely a penalty. He pulls him back. I don't think he needs to do it. I think that's what Craig Dawson will be more annoyed at. He doesn't need to do it. He does not need to do it one bit. Don't do it to me now. Don't do it to me now on stream. Don't just cut out now. Thank you. It is going to VAR. Denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. I think it's going for a possible red card here. Craig Dawson, it could be double jeopardy. It could be double jeopardy here. Let's have a look. Have they taken away the yellow card? I think Craig Dawson's going here. Craig Dawson is off. Craig Dawson is off. Denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity. as Romelu Lukaku turned him at the edge of the 18-yard box. Denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Craig Dawson will be off, and it's going to be a long final 4 or 5 minutes for West Ham United here. A really, really long final few minutes, especially if Chelsea score from this penalty. But still a job to do for Jorginho, or whoever the penalty taker is for today. It is Jorginho. Jorginho against Lucas Fabianski. A hop, skip and a jump and... oh my God, what is that? What is that? That was the worst penalty I have ever seen. That was the worst penalty I have ever seen. Straight down the middle, no power, no conviction. Jorginho, what was that? God. What on earth? What on earth? I have said so many times on this channel, and I'm not just saying that now because Jorginho's missed his penalty, but if you just wait until Jorginho's done his little skip, you can save every single penalty Jorginho takes. You can, because that's when he decides where he's going as Ziyech drives in. A bit more positive from Chelsea there with Hakim Ziyech. But what a god-awful penalty was that. Honestly, I could do better than that. Just hit it with some conviction. If you hit it with conviction and it does a decent job, and you know the keeper still saves it, makes a good save, yeah, all right. But it's an awful penalty from Jorginho. Does he hit it wrong? He hits it with like his heel, looking at it. He doesn't hit it like right in the middle of his foot, like the instep, like you taught as a kid. Is that it? Is that it? My grandma could have scored that. I think she could have done a better job at least. I think she could have done a better job at least. And West Ham now have their tails up as they're going into the corner, trying to waste a little bit of time. Of course, they are down a man now, so Chelsea can afford to commit at least one of the defenders forward. What a poor penalty from Jorginho, man. What a poor penalty. Oh, God. And Chelsea's worries and woes continue. Is anyone going to tackle Jared Bowen here, lads? Are you going to tackle him? Thank God someone's finally tackled Jared Bowen. He's like 5'11", and we were acting as if it was Andrei Yarmolenko we're trying to get the ball off, or Declan Rice. Like, put a bloody foot in. Unbelievably poor from Chelsea all day. And to be honest with you, that Jorginho penalty has been the epitome of a poor performance from Chelsea. Acted as if they knew what they were doing. Oh, thank God! Thank God! Thank God! Christian Pulisic! Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Thank God! Thank God! Thank God! Christian Pulisic has scored for Chelsea! Thank you! Thank you, Lord! What an awful performance from Chelsea today. What an awful performance from Chelsea today. It's a great finish. A great finish by Christian Pulisic. Thank you, Lord, that someone finally popped up in the right area to tuck one in. It's a good run down the left-hand side, and it's pulled back by Marcus Alonso, and no one's tracking Pulisic there. And that's where the extra man has counted. That is where the extra man has counted. If Craig Dawson's on there, Craig Dawson is where Declan Rice is, and Declan Rice tracks that runner. And that's quite, that pretty much sums it up really. that's how Chelsea have got the space there. But it's been really, really poor. I wish I could have celebrated that, but it's been such a poor performance. Yes, we've scored. Yes, it looks like we're going to have, at the moment at least, have won, but it's been a poor, really shoddy performance from Chelsea all over the field. Pulisic isn't done though. He's going to try and drive forward again, but Arthur Mazuaku nicks the ball back. Here's Romelu Lukaku. Can he get himself a goal as he tries to pull one back looking for Pulisic? He's nicked the ball back up high here, and Mason Mount went for the top corner. I wish I could have celebrated it more. I'm just that annoyed at how this performance has gone for Chelsea today. It's been so poor. 4 minutes of added time at the end of this second half. Been such a poor performance, and Chelsea, well, they needed the red card. Chelsea did. They needed Craig Dawson to have got the red card, because you know that's when they've found the space. That is when they've found the space. They've found the space because of that Chelsea. Of that West Ham United red card. That's where Pulisic has been able to drift into. Here goes Pulisic into Mason Mount now. Mason Mount goes back out wide to Marcus Alonso once again. Alonso finds Mason Mount. Jorginho. Chelsea in no rush now. What a surprise. In no rush now, Chelsea. And now Chelsea doing a bit of their own timekeeping games after West Ham tried their own in that bottom corner, and Chelsea could not nick the ball back. Burnley Wolves has finished 1-0, so a vital 3 points for Burnley there, and gives Newcastle an outside chance of getting some European football maybe. I don't know. Ziyech, he's just given the ball away. Good play from Declan Rice to skip past a few players, distributes, does really well there, Declan Rice. Declan Rice just tried to carry the ball out there. And not done very well. Crowded out, and he's been dropping into centre half whilst this sending off has happened. But you know, for that goal, the reason why Chelsea have scored is because Declan Rice wasn't in position, because of that extra man. Chelsea don't have that extra man there, so. Marcus Alonso going to get man of the match. I don't think he could give anyone a man of the match. It's maybe Sunday. Nice. Burnley look like they're going to fight for another day. We'll have a look at the table at the end of this game. I'm waiting for full time at the moment. Have a look at full time. And see what the league table's looking at the bottom of the table there for Burnley. David Moyes is still waiting for his first win at Stamford Bridge as a manager. Mental. Absolutely mental. We're over the allotted 4 minutes here. I just realised my timer's like 30 seconds slow. Oh well, clearly my stream decided to be a bit quicker at one point when it refreshed, when it dropped out just before the penalty. Fabianski clears the ball up the field. Is there an opportunity? Will there be one last opportunity for West Ham? Bowen nicks it back, goes out wide. It's going to be whipped in towards, I think that was Souček who was in there. Chelsea managed to defend this time. Mason Mount now is just going to drive the ball upfield. And that is it. That is full time. Chelsea 1, West Ham United 0. Don't know what Jorginho's saying to the referee. Can I take me penalty again? Because God, he needs some practice after that one. A really, really shoddy Chelsea performance, and West Ham will feel absolutely gutted that they've come out of that without a point. They will feel absolutely gutted, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Honestly, what a poor performance. What a poor performance from Chelsea. They've got lucky there. The fact that they've missed the penalty. Don't get me wrong, the penalty wasn't lucky. It was definitely a penalty. to be fair to Romelu Lukaku, he does well to move himself around Craig Dawson, gets his body in the way and does a good job. But it's very, very lucky after that poor penalty from Jorginho, a really, really poor penalty from Jorginho. Should be doing much better. Let's just scroll down to the bottom. Let's have a look how that shapes it up here for Burnley. Of course, Burnley do have 2 extra games that they've played over Everton, but now with Everton playing later on this afternoon against Liverpool, and Liverpool will be thinking, we can beat Everton, we can beat our rivals. Now Burnley potentially could be in the hot seat to stay up, and Leeds United just have to be a little bit careful, don't they, Leeds? Just got to be a little bit careful that they don't get dragged into this. I say Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, all of those guys up to Newcastle in 9th, they're all sort of out your way. But Leeds have to be careful they don't get dragged into a relegation scrap here. They're 2 points above Burnley. They do have a game in hand, but they need to be very, very careful that they don't get drawn into this. And as you can see, what does that mean for Chelsea at the top half of the table? They are now 11 points behind Chelsea, behind Liverpool in 3rd place. Liverpool in 2nd with that game that they're just about to play, which if they win, of course, will take them 1 point again behind Manchester City. It's going to go right down to the wire, this title race, and Chelsea will just want to keep themselves at arm's length, won't they? We'll have to keep themselves at arm's length. It's going to be about minimising damages and seeing how close, come the end of the season, Chelsea can get to Manchester City and Liverpool. I think that's going to be it. But it looks like Liverpool, Manchester City are going to do the same thing that they did a few years ago and go win after win after win after win. It looks like that will be the case. As you can see though, look at the stats. It's not been an exciting game, has it? That momentum bar will tell you all you need to know. West Ham have not had any opportunities, but Chelsea just haven't done anything with it. They really, really haven't done anything with it. Either way, guys, I'm going to leave you there. Like I said, I need to record some videos. We've got a video coming on Friday, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break, maybe have a bite to eat, maybe play some Formula 1. Maybe, and then we'll get the video recorded, and that'll be coming out on Friday, so do keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you do have any other form of social media, do be sure to go check us out on other social medias. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm everywhere. Just search Sam Redgate-Large and you'll be able to find me. So if you want to keep up to date, or you just want to have a chat, message me on one of those and I'll get back to you. Right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. I honestly cannot believe that Chelsea performance was so poor, and yet we've got away with a win there. West Ham, they must feel vitally like they've been robbed. Must feel like they've been robbed. Surely. Right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you potentially midweek for Chelsea-Manchester United. But if I don't, see you in a bit. And most importantly, guys, stay safe, enjoy your week. Cheers!